Endeavour is a huge show in our house. We absolutely love it, and I'd imagine it must be great fun for you to be able to go and be a part of something that's sort of so loved.
Absolutely, yeah. It has such a massive fan base, and I feel incredibly lucky to have been able to be a part of it. And hopefully it's something that continues, because I really loved working on it.
It's an interesting idea, because I think a lot of people loved Inspector Morse and then, of course, Lewis. But the idea of going back in time, I absolutely love it. And it's so clever the way you see the character of Morse. It's so believable that he would have been like that at that age.
Sean particularly really, he understands the era that he's trying to play, but he really understands the character, and I think he's true to the original, but he also does his own thing with it, and it's a really exciting show to be a part of.
And women weren't, well, there weren't as many women police officers back then. They were groundbreaking, weren't they?
Yeah, I tried to do as much research as I could into this role, and it was really difficult to find examples of women like True Love, because they just simply weren't around. And the few women that were police officers at the time tended to be given jobs that were simply seen to be too sensitive for the male officers. So that tended to be dealing with sort of victims, particularly children, and cases of, you know, a sexual nature, that because sensitivity was not a thing that was encouraged in men, and particularly not in authority figures.
One of the things we love is the look of it as well, and the style and the cars and the clothing, and you get that fantastic uniform as well.
Oh yeah.
Was that something that, I'm not that sounded really wrong, didn't it? No. But that sort of thing that sort of, I imagine, really helps with the character, because they're stiff and they're tight uniforms, aren't they?
Absolutely. I feel very much in character from the moment I put it on. It's not necessarily the most comfortable thing I've ever worn, but I think it looks
gives you an air of
great.
authority as well, right?
Exactly, which is not something I naturally have. So very, very helpful indeed.
You're still very young now, aren't you? But of course you started so young. What is it like, sort of working your way through from kind of child star to grown-up roles? I don't know whether this is the way to phrase it, but you know what I mean, don't you? Is it quite a tough course to navigate in a way?
It's a tricky time to be a teenager, definitely. I think particularly that sort of 16, 17, that age where girls in particular really start to feel self-conscious, and they view themselves and the way they look, the way they present themselves, their bodies in a very different way than they did previously.
Yeah.
And I had to do that whilst being in Skins, which is a show that definitely puts you on display in ways that I might not otherwise have been, and thankfully we have a really loyal fan base who are very, very good to us, and were very supportive, but it meant that I definitely became self-conscious in a way that I think I might not otherwise have been.
Yeah, of course.
But I also feel like I've got a sort of an experience and a maturity maybe that I wouldn't otherwise have had. No. And I don't have a whole lot of maturity anyway, so I'm thankful for
Said
what
that
I
a couple
do
of
have.
times now. There's clearly something that's burning in you. Dakota, it's lovely to see you. Sadly, we're out of time, but best luck with the rest of the series as well.
Thank you.
And really, really good to see you.